strapped into the passenger side seat of a four-wheel ATV, racing over forest roads and flying through midnight's darkness, I found that releasing my iron grip on the bar attached to the door took more strength than making a clenched fist with my damaged hand, or maybe a different kind. But the real trick is learning how to let go without losing a firm grasp on why you deserve the experience of being alive. Thank you. Some ideas or feelings seem completely beyond articulation. Like a black hole, you have to infer what's there when nothing is visible, by way of what's arranged on the fringes, which is likely why we use words to work out what's generated by the jellified electrical storms and bone cases on our shoulders, and use examples in the hope that other sets of synapses crackle in the same way. But I've never been able to make anyone else get the same sensation of beauty and wonder I feel when I see a massive satellite array of antennae on a field. Colossal concave dishes synchronized and aimed at the purpose of investigating heaven, while simultaneously looking like a pristine bed of steampunk sunflowers, cultivated by an iron giant. Friends who've known me well have never understood, and maybe I don't either, with the words I use to describe that image being as close as I can get to the deep experience around which we orbit. Thanks so much. If broken eggshells could speak, they may forgive us for the sacrifice we ask, while suggesting that we might at least say a quick prayer of apologetic acknowledgement before breaking a few apart, or boiling their soft innards into hardened states of devilry. Then, ideally, lay their corpses down in organic fields of decay, so that they might, at least, give some strength back to life with their flesh. Thank you so much. I opened up a message, auto-corrected, to proclaim only these cryptic words: rock, thank you, instead of the intended text, and I've obsessed for years now over whether or not the sender ever meditated on its meaning, as I did and still do, though I admit I lack the language courses needed to fully grasp and appreciate its message, filled either with heavy wisdom, as I so desperately hope, or only the harsh, pixelated headache of progress and communication randomly collapsing, as I so desperately fear. Like if the language of Babel had been destroyed by a hallucinogenic fungus instead of a furious god. Thank you. What if I say every pillow into which you let out a stifled scream stores traces of that venom after each primal utterance, and then describe how they, during the dead of night, pass through portals in a soapless deep abyss to that common subworld where they conduct their congress for hate-saturated cushions, externalizing articulations of what they hold inside, exchanges whose byproducts include tough formations mistaken for popcorn, pressure-formed coinage, and gritty anonymous bits of residual bile, background radiation from big bangs deep beneath our comfort, a vile presence we can only blame on flatulence for so long before someone or something else gets up off the couch instead of our real selves the next time we stand up. What then? Will that be enough to acknowledge the risks of our darkness, whereby seeing, perchance, we might heal? Or will we commit to a wish for perfection so strong that we ignore our slowly corrupting reflections? Somewhere, a script shows scenes of people sewn into a centipede, while somewhere else, a psychologist trained in object relations is weeping. like a first-person narrator, uncovering causeways leading all the way to a cosmic nightmare. Thank you. Strangely dressed for a hike, he's in his dark suit while she wears a black dress, both descending forest paths to grieve at the river's edge beneath a concrete bridge, indifferent overhead. She's holding white roses to spread as he emanates helpless anger at whatever power forced this extreme juxtaposition of aesthetics into existence. Thank you. Few things feel so isolating as mourning the loss of a space only I remember existing, alone among everyone, unaware of the hidden sanctuary that once offered such care. I might need a fellowship with mental health professionals, excavating neurological doom if I want healing, after viewing another world between light's visible spectrum, internalizing its inner workings, and then living to tell of the Ragnarok that engulfed it, in a remaining reality made up mostly of the majority seeing light frequencies normally, who find my rarely told tale of ultraviolet loss too abstract and exotic to feel with any level of relatability, but they never knew its essence well enough to weep as I did, while time and tragedy wiped that place away. Thanks so much. I didn't ask a sound engineer exactly why my window cranked open, amplified distant sounds in the direction of where it went ajar. I had a vague idea, but liked imagining that my window was a doorway instead, to the wisdom collected by unfettered winds, gathering crisp spring air and fall's sweet decay, alongside my neighbor's operatic vitriol, performed in a voice so used to contention that early-stage escalating argument was its normal speaking tone, its permanently set volume, a classically trained projection for his theater of the driveway, always one half of a phone conversation, as if he were Peter Sellers in the role of Dr. Strangelove's president, Bob Newhart's deadpan half, a pretend call, or a commedia dell'arte version of High Theater's family agitation. I heard how incredibly stupid some guy is so many times, I confess that I may have, on one or two occasions, escaped being deceived thanks to the skepticism his ramblings reinforced, and that maybe, here or there, I found it inspiring to hear a gaunt, skeletal man declare so confidently that I'm not afraid of anyone, in a stiff breeze that might blow him over, while also carrying on the seed of that determination to germinate in whoever dares turn their ears towards the white noise of the wind. Thank you. Youth is focusing on avoiding eventual isolation, in sealed chambers erasing sensory perception. Maturity is accepting how inevitably we walk towards our solitude while wondering what wallpaper will paste over the abyss, as we make our only wish that relatively few wraiths follow our road to a confined infinity that's filled with shifting mist. Teaching high school enters the realm of watching a Discovery Channel animal show. Fellow students follow classmates holding French fry containers like fish chasing shakers of food flakes across their aquarium's length. I don't hear kind words anymore. I hear preludes to requested favors getting closer. That's why I wait, or wince, at the first sign of even authentic compliments, where fake remarks imitate reality so well, I can't escape suspecting any decent display of only being made of masterfully painted paper mache. Getting my license to drive became more akin to an occult seance, with old, departed voices suddenly phoning in feigned friendship out of nowhere for rides to wherever, dressing up functional desire as real expressions of care. If we're gonna fight, I'd rather enter a feud with some integrity. Hate me, declare me your enemy, let just days fuel your creativity. Let's start an Apollo Creed Rocky rivalry, almost friendly. I've heard your opponents define you, and I'll accept those parameters as long as I know where they are. But holding out one hand while raising the other's middle finger makes me doubt the glitching ground on which I stand. Do I, in my best Danny DeVito, scream, "Ha! So you come crawling back," when the company that cut me off from a dream deems my unpleasant heat just what they need to thaw their nightmares frozen center? I'd like that. But luckily, a lack of faith in self-stability lifts my belief in an outside angel of better nature, urging a bigger person to emerge from within me. Sometimes it seems that the narrow relative difference between being compassionate and laying down as a doormat only lies in your perspective on what sacrifice really is. Thank you.